Welcome back, Flare community. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a very short series of videos where we go over Matthew Rosenden's presentation at Apex 2021, which was the XRP Ledger development event. In this presentation, Matthew goes over a lot of different things and they're all very exciting, but for us to get a good understanding of what all this terminology means, we really need to get our heads around the XRP Ledger and some of the novel features unique to it. So in this presentation, we will start to understand about issued currencies on the XRP Ledger, gateways, trust lines, and rippling. And these are really important concepts because this functionality is actually going to be used in the Trustline ecosystem. Now, to give you a broad understanding of what the Trustline ecosystem trying to bring towards the XRP Ledger, it's a sort of fusion between two different networks. We've got Songbird and the Flare network, which are responsible for issuing these assets trustlessly onto the XRP Ledger. And then we also have the concept of the RA stablecoin. Now, this stablecoin is crypto collateralized, and it means that you have to lock up crypto as collateral for it to be minted. And it's going to be minted trustlessly from one network, the Flare network or the Songbird network, to another, the XRP Ledger. So let's jump into this video and get a better understanding of the XRP Ledger.
Matthew Rosenden is the CEO and co-founder of Trustline, Inc. He's going to talk and discuss the issuance of trustless assets like other cryptocurrencies on the XRP Ledger and how the cross-currency payment and decentralized exchange features of the XRPL will thrive in the future. Matthew.
So today I'll be presenting about trustless issued currencies. This is sort of a new concept that we're developing at Trustline. And so I'm excited to walk you through it. So really before we jump into the meat of the presentation, we need to talk about issued currencies. So we're going to go through a quick primer about issued currencies on the XRP Ledger. I imagine there are a lot of people here who already know quite a lot about it, maybe some folks on the live stream. This will be helpful for you. So let's jump into it. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to construct a graph or network topology using some of these symbols. So we're going to just create a language first. So first term to introduce is gateways. So what is a gateway? A gateway is a financial institution that exchanges currency outside the XRP Ledger for issued currency in the XRP Ledger. So for example, you could deposit $100 with Bitstamp and receive 100 USD Bitstamp as an IOU on the XRP Ledger. And we are describing the gateway in our kind of graphical language as the circle with a G. And next thing is issued currencies. So issued currency itself is the IOU that gets issued by the gateway. It represents value held by gateways, and the gateway that issues currency in the XRP Ledger is expected to pay the balance back to the holder, right? So it can be any currency issued on the XRP Ledger, like Bitcoin. It could be US dollars, gold, rice stones. It could be anything. This is how it's represented kind of graphically. You have somebody who holds the issued currency. This is Alice here. She has what's called a trust line with gateway G. She has a balance of 100 US dollars. So we're going to get into the directionality of that arrow right there. It's a little counterintuitive, but this means that gateway G has issued 100 US dollars with Alice. And then over to the right, we have kind of the code, how it's represented in the code. It's a balance. You have a currency code, you have an issuing address, that's who's issuing the currency, you have the value of that balance. And then we have trust lines. So trust lines are a way of configuring how much you trust an issuer to hold on your behalf. You can create a low limit trust line with your broke roommate, for example, but you may not really expect them to make good on their IOU, right? Or you can create like a higher limit trust line with a reputable financial institution, or kind of like a blockchain program, which is what I'm going to be introducing in a bit. We have our graphical sort of language here. I just added a limit, so limit Alice Trust Gateway G with a limit of $1,000 US. So Gateway G would not be able to issue more than that. And then the trust line, the directionality, Alice creates the trust line with Gateway G, allowing Gateway G to issue that currency. That's why the arrow is going to Gateway G. Next, we're going to talk about rippling. So this is when more than one trust line is adjusted to make a payment. It occurs when addresses are linked by trust lines that use the same currency code. So that's an important part there. The issuer does not need to be the same. And in our graphical language here, what you're seeing is you're seeing Alice and Bob both have trust lines with Gateway G. And if Alice is sending a payment to Bob, the payment can ripple through Gateway G because it's just adjusting the two balances on those two trust lines. And it debits from Alice and credits Bob's balance. And that's how rippling kind of happens. You can take that further into multi-step rippling. So Alice sends 10 USD to Charlie. You see Alice to the left, Charlie on the right. You've got Gateway G1 and G2. You've got Bob in the center. So Bob could also be like a gateway or just like a regular account. Doesn't really matter. He just needs to have rippling as a setting on his account enabled. And then it can just kind of traverse through that path, reach its destination to Charlie, and credits his account. And G2, right there, who Charlie has a trust line with, is the one who is issuing that currency for Charlie at the end. So now that takes us into kind of like, okay, let's take a step back. What are the thoughts that I have on issued currencies? There's pros and cons. First of all, there's a really high potential for liquidity by rippling through payment paths. Lots of interesting things you can do. Some things that we're doing at Trustline that are really exciting on this kind of same line. They're tradable on the XRP Ledger's decentralized exchange. There's actually quite a lot of things you can do, and there's a growing ecosystem, new use cases, things are happening. Cons, there's an unrealized potential of kind of more complicated paths for payment liquidity, and that's sort of what we're trying to solve with trustless issued currencies, which I'll get into soon. And along that same line, a lack of general fungibility between issued currency assets. Now, there are some things like Trustline quality and whatnot that kind of allow you to see, how much what is the face value of this issued currency, right? But with trustless issued currencies, what I'm going to walk you through is how can we just make sure that all of these trustless issued currencies have sort of the same face value for everyone who is holding it. And then these IOUs also rely on kind of like a trust in the solvency of the issuer. You don't know necessarily if they're going to pay you back. For example, if it's Bitstamp, they have US dollars in their bank account or something. You don't know, you can't peer into their bank account balance and see, okay, can they pay you back? Like, what are they doing with your money?
So for me, that was a great precursor to get a good, solid understanding of the XRP ledger. Now, Trustline is a project which I'm incredibly excited about, this idea of trustless issuance. We heard him talk about issued currency on the XRP ledger, which is not necessarily trustless. It's provided by a centralized counterpart, such as a big exchange, for example. Now, this new concept is extremely novel, and in future videos in this series, we're going to dive a little bit deeper and get into the details, the nitty-gritty, and expand on what Matthew has to say. So with that being said, guys, keep your eyes open for the next video, and until next time, I'm out.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.